Today we are going to be discussing vocal colors and how we obtain them. There is nothing more distracting or boring than to go to a concert to hear a beautiful voice which sings the same color all the way through that concert. I'm going to be using my daughter-in-law, Lynn Henderson, and my son, Dr. Richard Henderson, as my illustrators today, and they will be accompanied by Daniel Greenbush. We are going to start with one of the Il Trovatore arias, and I want Lynn to tell you what the recitative is about. So you will hear the two different colors that are involved as she sings it.
In the recitative, there are two. In the beginning, she is trying to reassure herself and saying, "Why should I be afraid?" So she is singing with a lot of confidence, but then she is affected by her surroundings, which is a dark night, and becomes more fearful, and this shows in her voice color.
When you see Lynn start, she will be working right through this area here, the upper lip. Ti di cur. When she goes in tone that is of the night and the eeriness of the night, you will hear that tone color change. She gets that tone color change by letting that tone go back and up. In the previous tapes, you will have heard me speak a great deal about the inside smile or the dome. Now that inside smile is there throughout what she's going to be doing at this moment. But she's going to be concentrating on the intensity of the first few phrases of the aria right in the lip area. All right, Lynn? We're going to skip to the main aria. The main aria begins in the middle and the low range. The low range of the voice, the jaw drops more than it does in the middle range of the voice. When you get up to the upper range of the voice, then it drops again more. This is in the low range of the voice, and so you will hear her d'amore, d'amore, and you'll feel, the jaw action here dropping as she goes into this spot of the aria. Okay, Danny? Again, and we're going to go on further into the aria where she will go up to the upper range in this aria, and when she goes up into the upper range, I want you to watch what is happening right over the bridge of her nose, underneath her eyes, into the temple, and the drop of the jaw. This is terribly important for the upper range. All right, will you begin? Made non dir.
Oh
would like for you to try that real high spot that we did without the pull-up that we're talking about, right through the bridge of the nose, the cushions of the eyes, and the drop here. Danny, if you'll begin at the bottom of there, 320, Ma del non dirgli. Let me stop you. Which tone felt the easier?
The right way, the first way.
The first way. All right. I want them to hear it the right way last. And would you do it just once more? And watch. Did you see the difference in the face, the mask? This whole area was entirely different from what she did just a minute ago. And there was more spin to the tone. It's always an easier tone when you involve this. All right. Try it once again. And do it the right way, and I'll stop you, okay? There's a lovely crescendo on that you just cannot get with that all pulled down. All right, I want to show the inside of Lynn's mouth, because the soft palate, which you will have heard me speak of many times in our previous tapes, has such a tremendous effect upon the voice. And Lynn, when she came to me, had a very difficult time singing a high G, right?
Right.
And the tongue was all bunched, and her teacher had used a spoon pushing it down. This is something else you will hear me speaking about in the previous tapes. We're not talking about that right now. But I want you to see what has happened to this inside of the mouth, how that arch of the palate just goes up. She does not pull it up. No one should ever pull up the soft palate. It comes from an involuntary nerve that just lifts it up. When you're smiling, when you're laughing, yawning, it just goes up. It's the same way it happens when you have worked at it as hard as she has these past 16 years that I've had her, and 5 children in the meantime. Anyway, I want you to see this inside of her mouth and the soft palate relaxed, and then I want you to see it up. You see the uvula is out of sight, and that's where it is when she's singing those high pitches. It just pops right up there. Now we are going into the role of Cadishaw from the Mikado. This is a lyric soprano voice, as you've just now heard. Cadishaw, the part that I want her to begin with, is the part that she says, pink cheek, bright eye. It's a very sarcastic sort of something. Now we have some muscles that are on the inside up over the hard palate that are very, very important to you to get that feeling of the lift. This is a soft palate that you just saw with her. This is up above the hard palate. It's up behind here. When I say pre, 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 pre. Now, I'm not turning out my lip. I'm not doing anything at all. I'm loosening it. I'm opening up those spaces, pre, pre, pre. And then another exercise I use to get those spaces involved is holding my nose and saying, B-O-E-O-E-O-E-O-E-O, B-O-E-O-E-O-E-O-E-O. And I have involved those muscles that are going to take hold of this pink cheek, bright eye. Watch her lips as she's singing this. Okay, Lynn?
Pink cheek that rulest where wisdom serves, bright eye that foolest heroic nerves, rose lip that scornest lore-laden years, smooth tongue that warnest who bright eye. Thy nail is rung, rose lip, smooth tongue.
Now that's an entirely different color than what you just now heard in the aria. This is what I'm pointing out is colors. All right, Lynn, will you go to the part of the aria of Kadishaw's aria where we call it a balanced tone, where there is warmth in the tone and where you go on down into the low area? What do I mean by balanced tone? I'm talking about the tone that has the back space, that wonderful yawny feeling, and the wonderful pull-up feeling right over the hard palate that I just now showed you. It's all involved, all right?
O sepulchre, my soul is still my body's prisoner. Remote the peace that death alone can give. My doom to wait, my punishment to live.
Okay, will you do that last phrase once again, where you go down to the low G sharp and do it in a raw chest tone, please?
My punishment to live.
To me, that is a very ugly color.
Doesn't feel good either.
That's right. It does not feel good because it hurts right in the larynx, right in the voice box. And this is a dangerous thing, as far as I'm concerned, to sing a raw chest tone. In the other one, there was head. There was a feeling of a head space above the tone. Do it right so they'll hear it the last time.
My punishment to live.
All right, now she has been doing these tones that are down low and are sarcastic. I want her to speak one line where she starts way up in the top and goes right on down into her chest, because when you're in Broadway show business, you have to learn how to speak so you do not disturb this wonderful instrument that we have down here, okay?
And you won't hate me if I'm just a little teeny weeny wee bit bloodthirsty, will you?
You can feel it, you can hear it. Go from here right down into the teeth, right down into the low chest. Do it just once again.
And you won't hate me if I'm just a little teeny weeny wee bit bloodthirsty, will you?
Okay. Now she's been doing these nasty things. I want her to scoot right on over to the Ave Maria, Othello, in the prayer. And this is where she's on her knees. This is a warm tone again. The lower part of it, again, is right in the teeth because it's down on the low E flat, the middle E flat, I should say. And she will be using a great deal of the muscular involvement right around the lips. And then she will flip right up into the head voice at the end of that first part, and you'll hear this color change from here right up into here as she goes into it, okay?
Ave Maria, piena di grazia, eletta fra le sposi, e vergine sei tu. O benedetto il frutto, o benedetta di tue materne viscere, Gesù. Prega perché adorando a te si mostra.
Okay, fine. Did you hear the different color as she slipped right up to the back? How do you do that? You simply involve that wonderful yawn that's up in the back as you go in to the piano or head tone. It flips over very, very easily. This is after she's done those low, heavy tones in Kadishaw, She hasn't touched this instrument down here. It's still just as active as possible. All right, now the next one we go into is the sorastro.
You want me to do that, Maria?
Oh, thank you, Lynn. Yes, I do want you to do that. The very end of Ave Maria is always a very difficult spot for most sopranos. The Ave. Will you sing it for me, please, right before it?
Nell'ora della morte. Amen.
I want to point out two things here. As she went to they, this jaw was dropping, and the V was on the bottom of that interval. Not V, way up there, but V, and then it slipped up. Now do it the wrong way, Lynn, and see the difference. You see, the tone was there. Which was the easier?
The first way is easier, without the V to close on at the top.
That's right. The V is a marvelous vowel, a marvelous consonant to get the width of this wonderful yawn that we keep talking. Ve, 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 and then it pops right up there. Thank you very much. Now we shall go to sorastro. Richard will be singing O Isis und Osiris from the Mozart Magic Flute. Thank you. Yes, okay. What is this all about?
This is a reverent prayer. It's a very short reverent prayer aria.
Now, we're going to begin right in the middle of the aria, and he will be using more of this space right up here against the bones of his face. I want you to watch how loose the jaw is swinging in the back. And we'll also catch some shots of this whole area supporting. Okay?
Lasst sie der Prüfung Früchte sehen, doch sollen sie zu Grabe gehen. Soll und der Tugend kühnen Lauf, nehmt sie in euren Wohnsitz auf, nehmt sie in euren Wohnsitz auf.
Okay, you saw the control from the pubic bone straight up to the sternum bone, which I've talked a lot about in previous tapes. You saw a very wide, solid chest here also. You saw a very loose jaw here as he was singing it. If it's hill stiff, it's going to sound just like that. Okay, now let's go on into the Mikado again. And I want you to sing the part that is...
I'll go into the middle part of the Mikado's well-known
aria.
solo
Okay,
aria.
fine.
And there he plays extravagant matches in fitless finger stalls, on a cloth untrue with a twisted cue, and elliptical billiard balls.
Okay, did you see and hear where that ha, ha, ha landed? It landed right up there. It was not down here on the throat. This also is very important to learn, as how to laugh and how to scream and still not hit this area of the throat. It's up here, people.
Let me interject something here. When I was working on the role of the Mikado a few weeks ago, practicing the dialogue to learn the dialogue, I was trying to get a villainous, diabolical tone, and I got it right here in my throat, and I found that I couldn't sing the song any longer until Lynn pointed it out to me one day, and it was like night and day.
You got it up here, and
Yes.
that was the end of it. All right, will you do that right now?
Oh, dialogue, yes.
Dialogue, yes.
Of course you hadn't. How could you? Come, come, my good fellow, don't distress yourself. It was no fault of yours. If a man of exalted rank chooses to disguise himself as a second trombone, he must take the consequences. It really distresses me to see you take on so.
That's the end of that. Okay. All right. Years ago, there was a very great bass baritone at the Metropolitan Opera who left the Metropolitan Opera to do his first Broadway show. And when he was doing it, he said, the singing is as easy as falling off the log, but what is difficult for me is the fact that after I speak, I can't sing. He had to learn how to speak right up and through here with the back spaces open, not down on his throat like that, and then expect to have any vocal line left. It won't be there. So your support is exactly the same from here to here, whether you're speaking or singing, and the tone comes right in up there. All right, now, the next tape we will be doing on colors, the continuation of this tape, we are going to be taking in colors again of the pant rolls. Now, these pant rolls were always sung by girls. This was back in the time of Rossini and clear up until the time of Strauss. And when Rossini wrote one of these rolls, it has a lot of coloratura work in it. And this is what we're going to be illustrating again with this coloratura roll that, again, I want to show you on the screen right here. That it will be these little muscles that are pulling up over the hard palate, the pre muscles that are going to get the articulation of that tone where we want it. We will also go into Samson and Delilah, which again is another color entirely. We will also go into the belting. Now, the belting is a Broadway terminology for a certain color. If you send a singer down to audition for a Broadway show and he comes out singing like he's a concert singer, he will be out as quickly as that. When he knows how to belt or get it into these places here, and we get it from the me-o, e-o, 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 e-o. I always do both of those to keep the voice in balance, so the tone, the singer will never become nasal and can't ever sing anything except nasality. It's got to be a balance of tone. And then we cannot use the Broadway show lyrics because they're not in public domain, so we're going to be using one of the contemporary rock arias or phrases to show you how we get this color. Again, that's what we've been talking about today. And I hope that you will have heard the different colors and that you will have seen how we obtain them. They're very simple. When you once find the sensation that causes those tones to happen, they happen. And the interesting thing is that when I've been working with these students that I've had for a number of years, and that I've asked them to do it the wrong way, which I did Lynn just a moment ago, it was very hard because it was so automatic for those muscles that have been coordinated all this time to change. But we succeeded, you will see, when we get into the last part of the tape of this tone, vocal colors and how we obtain them. Thank you very much.